So I had the idea to like do like a quick video to explain how to take pictures in front of the Christmas tree. And like I tried to like talk about it with my kids in the background, and that was not gonna happen. So I think I'm just gonna kind of talk about to probably get good pictures in front of a tree, get all that like nice soft stuff in the background, and then I'm probably gonna have to voice over parts of it and explain it and just time lapse through, because my oldest hates taking pictures and my youngest is different. So anyways, I still want to be helpful, so we'll just talk about it and I'll kind of try to show some stuff to the best of my ability for what I got or whatever. But the first thing when you are wanting to get pictures with light in the background, you need it to be dark. But the thing with taking pictures when it's darker is that you have a chance of camera shake or blurriness. So what I did this year, it changes every year because like, you know, tastes change and stuff like that. But this year I went ahead and I turned everything down, had just our fireplace on and our lights on, and some lights on the other side of the camera to kind of fill in front of them, because if you expose or just light the background and not the face, then you're going to get shadows or a silhouette, and you kind of want expression. And then another thing that I did was I got a prop from the Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and put some lights in there. And when you have the background lights will go in, and some light to fill the face. Let me show you. Well, I mean, it's obviously very dark because now there's no lights in the but having a light source in front can help immensely. And these are just like rolled up fairy lights, so you know it's going to help with illumination. Just put it into a present box, have the little present lid, you know, an easy prop that'll cost like $2 or whatever. You can put lights into a book and have them reading a book. Another thing that I like to do with siblings or two people, especially like anytime for fall or for winter pictures, I use a blanket to kind of keep people close, because when you're taking a picture and you have the heads farther apart, it looks like they don't like each other. Like it's so weird, and it's like the hardest thing to explain to people. But like where you would have like a normal amount of space between people just regularly, when you take a picture of that, it translates as not wanting to be near the other person. It really does. Like there's no other way to explain it. So I just have people uncomfortably close together. The way to do that is to put a blanket on and like bring them in nice and close. So low lights, extra props, and you want to make sure that you have enough light. Now if you don't have enough light, then it's going to be very shadowy, and then you will probably have to edit to some capacity. I already edit my photos. Probably going to take all the pictures I took tonight into Lightroom, Photoshop, jazz them up and all that. But if you're not shooting with something that you feel comfortable editing, or if you think it's not going to, if you think like any phone editing apps you have aren't going to work, then it's not going to work for you. I was going to try to show how to shoot on a camera in the time lapse, or what will be the time lapse. I was going to try to shoot on this and on a phone. You can do both. You can do either. I wish I had kids that cooperated, but maybe as I get older, it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. We'll talk. It's fine. Okay. So I shoot with a Canon 6D, which is a full frame camera. I did shoot in manual mode. So I'm going to talk about manual settings for those that are interested in going over and going into doing manual. I'm going to show also like a little circle. I'm also going to show shortcut. Just going to show a shortcut or an easier way to do it so you don't have to worry about it being in manual mode. Set it to 1/60th of a second, which is very low. You're gonna have to brace yourself. 1/60th of a second, if you move during the exposure, it's gonna just make it blurry. Like, you have to be very still. Like, you have to be like if you were shooting a gun or aiming, like you have to give that whole second of time so that way it'll let the light in without moving the frame. I lowered my f-stop, my aperture, to the lowest setting. That's the lower setting is what's going to give you the little orbies in the background and make everything look all pretty. And since it was in low light, I needed to set the ISO high. So my ISO setting looks like it was between 16 to 3200. ISO is the sensor's sensitivity. The digital sensor in there. It used to be like the film sensitivity, but we don't use film anymore. So so I had 1/60th, f 1.8, 1600 ISO. I'm shooting with an 85mm lens, so I had to get pretty far away from it, so you're not going to be able to see me in like all of the shots while it was filming, but I was there. And then, you know, you just kind of go for it and hope for the best. Now, another thing that's going to help with having the props, like a book or like the present or something, will have the kids, especially younger kids, sit still to sit in front of the tree, because if they move, then you get the blur, you get the motion blur that you probably are trying to avoid. But I've got, you know, couple really solid shots in front of the tree. Now, I said something like a little shortcut, right? If you are wanting to get that bokeh, the soft orby light behind, but you're not comfortable with moving the settings around, you throw your ISO into auto, if it'll let you, and you put it on aperture priority, which on Canon is AV. I think it's the same for a Nikon. Don't quote me. I think it's the same for a Nikon, but it's called aperture priority, and it's the letters on there. If you have like the little pictures of like a person or a flower or a landscape and stuff like that, I don't mess with those. If you're learning, you can shoot an aperture priority to get the low depth of field that a lot of people like in pictures, but if you want to go manual, then you go manual. There's not really much in between that. You could talk about, you know, shutter speed for sports and stuff like that, but we're talking about Christmas pictures. Okay, so now if you don't have like a fancy camera, you can still use your phone, but like I said, lighting is going to be very important, so you need to make sure that there's enough light in there. But so just stick with what you got. Now, this is another little funny thing that's that I always like talk about when I'm talking shop or talking about like cameras. If you see the difference in my face, because this is a 20mm lens that I'm filming on, so it's gonna like have me farther back, but the lens for my phone is different. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's kind of like making my face look a little bit different, right? So you go into photo and make sure you have the photo setting on or whatever, and make sure that you have enough light, because if you don't, it's not quite gonna work still. So let's try with our little prop trick, right? I still left the light on, so that actually helps, you know, just something simple like a little light source that you would need. Now, you don't want it to get like spooky under the face, so you're gonna pull it to make sure that it evenly lights the person, right? Make sure that the light is there. Make sure that the light's even and it's like actually gonna give you something nice. That's actually not bad. Just using the box as like a fill. It's like a soft box. That's funny. But yeah, you have like the little prop. You like glow their face and stuff like that, you know, have all the nice stuff in the background, right? I've only got two hands, sorry. So, when you are trying to adjust, you're going to make sure that you tap and like it'll tap the focus, but when you tap to adjust the focus too, it's going to expose differently. So like if I tap right here, it's going to make the exposure focus on the light, and so it's going to focus for the light, and now the subject is really dark. If you tap on the subject, it'll make the box much brighter, which is fine because it's supposed to be lit up like, oh, what a magical surprise. So you just make sure that you tap on the subject so that way that they're not too shadowy, not too dark or whatever. And then you should be able to get like a cute-ish picture. So you can take it into the editing apps. If you choose to use Instagram, you can edit it with Instagram. I actually use SNOW, just regular old snow. Gives you much better ability to edit, I think. I'd say look into like the Photoshop app. There's some things that you can do in there that you don't have to like pay anything for. Snow is a free editing app. You can use Instagram to edit if you want to. That's a choice. But yeah, so I don't know if this helps. I just wanted to be helpful. We have nothing else that we're doing. We have nothing else that we're doing during the day. Kids don't always cooperate. But you know, you just do your best. Take pretty pictures of your tree and your kids and your family, and use it to grow each year. Like, see how much better you can do next year after you get some practice with it this year. Just keep going, right? Hope that helps. Let me know if there's anything else that I could have done to clarify, because like I'm not really good with this whole like video thing. Don't do it a whole lot. And then I'll try to like fill in any gaps or whatever.
Run and jump.
No run and jump.
Run and jump. Run and jump.
No run and jump.